Hello folks, I hope you're having just a great day today and keeping yourself safe in our COVID world today. Today I want to take a look at the final book in the series, in the trilogy of 3, it started off with trilogy of 3, now it has a trilogy of 5. In the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series, Mostly Harmless by Douglas A. Adams, a guy who was much more popular earlier on in his career with Doctor Who and things like that before he hit his hit to 1979, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, of which this is the final sequel for. It's also the only sequel that can't have a sequel based on what happens in the finale. This is the largest novel in it. It's more than 10%. It's about 50% bigger than the previous large novel. It has sequelitis, which is something the previous sequel, the fourth book, So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, which is my second favorite book in the series, did not have. It's actually the shortest book in the series, but this is the biggest by far, and it's not even close. It was written in the 90s. Douglas Adams came back to the series to pen this book. It wasn't needed. The previous book had a nice ending to it, just like book 3 wasn't needed either. The book 2 had a good ending to it as well. So books 2 and 4, the even-numbered books had good endings to them, and the odd-numbered books that were sequels, books 3 and 5, I feel were a little less needed. And I think that's really blatant in this book. Mostly Harmless gets its title from a throwaway joke in the first book. It is the it's the sole reference in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for Earth. If you look up Earth, it'll just say Mostly Harmless as its only description. It won't even be a full sentence. And so that's the description. In book 4, we find out that Earth, which was destroyed in book 1, is actually back now. And so book 4 is going to open up with the character Trillian, who has not gone and left with Zaphod Beeblebrox in this version. And we're going to spend the first 50-60 pages with her as Tricia McMillan. We're going to follow her in her life on this altered Earth with its 4-leaf clovers instead of 3-leaf clovers, that sort of thing. And some of the altered things that are happening. She's going to encounter aliens and so forth. She's going to be, she's a reporter now. And so she has, you're going to be following reporter Tricia McMillan on Earth, and it's her story. And I actually think that the first few chapters of this novel are actually really good, the Tricia story, and I think it's really, really good. And you spend a lot of time unpacking the sort of Tricia McMillan story. Then we spend a chapter following Arthur, Dent, and Ford Prefect, who are in different parts of the universe, a chapter for each of them, and then those chapters will rotate back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth, and then that's it. We never get a Tricia, we never come back to Tricia. We spent the first, 20% of the novel following Tricia on this altered Earth, and then we're done. That's the end. We don't come back to it. We don't do a chapter for Ford, a chapter for Arthur, and then a chapter for Tricia. Nope, we don't do that. None of that happens. Instead, you are reading a novel that does not have Tricia McMillan in it at all. And so Trillian, one of our main characters in this story, and our main character in this one, and one of the 4 main characters, although she's probably the 4th in the previous books, is now front and center, and I think that deservedly so. But then we don't follow her on this altered Earth and this altered version of herself, even though we spent all of our time and invested all this time in it. I think that's a bad choice by Douglas Adams. It's not done for story building purposes. It's not that she dies after chapter 5 or 6 or something like that and then we come back. No. It's not that she has any issues, that we have issues following her. It's not that he wrote her out for some reason and there's not some story-based reason. There's not even a joke reason. So I don't like it. I mentioned previously that that book 3 was incredibly choppy. I do think book 5 is even choppier in times. I think it's a weaker novel because of its length. I think it has some pacing issues. I don't think it needed to be as long as it is. I think like books 1 and 3, it can sacrifice plot, character development, stuff like that for the joke. But the central conflict in this story is these alternate universes and trying to find the right alternate universe and what's happening and so forth. And again, that's their explanation for why Earth hadn't been destroyed. It was an alternate universe. It's in a section of the universe that things will tend to come back in where things won't necessarily stick. So as a result, it feels like a sequel that wasn't needed to a series that was concluded by book 4. It has a self-contained storyline. It's not a great one. It's not well written, not well paced, but it does have some funny jokes. There were some places where I laughed out loud. Whereas in book 3, which was my previous low in the series, there were some places where I was like, there was never a joke out loud, laugh out loud minute. There might be times where I would smile at the humor that I was reading, but there was never a time when I was actually, but here there are some jokes. It's fun and breezy in places. I think it starts off very well and very exciting. But that's mostly Harmless for you. Have you read the 5th final book in the series? What did you think about it? I also didn't like the ending either, but I'm not going to talk about it in the spoilers, but if you want to talk about it in the comments below, I'm happy to do that with you. But there you are. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. Have you read it? What did you think about it? I'm happy to engage you with that further in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please feel encouraged to hit that subscribe button. There's going to be so many more of these classics to follow. And finally, I just want to thank you for taking some time out of your day and investing it in me and my videos. We all have so many things happening in our lives, so the fact you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling. And I really do appreciate that again. So thanks and have a great day.